I think the first match is really going to kind of set the momentum because we have no doubt the one thing Kradwell has on his side is that factor is the surprise factor. If he happens to lose with Kenshi, we have no idea who he's going to go next. We don't know what his Kenshi is capable of. So Echo's going to need to be very careful. Goes with the back one. Very nice presence of mind for Echo to block that EX. No doubt that would have done some ridiculous damage. And here we go. Echo keeping that execution right where he wants it. And just this damage, the mauling in the corner. Kradwell immediately breaking. But he's going to want to try and challenge those teleports as much as possible. Otherwise, Kradwell's going to be able to kind of walk all over him. Kradwell falling for these staggers. And the chip alone would do it, but Echo goes for the grab just in case. Cleanly closing out that first round.
Yeah, Kradwell maybe just pressing too many buttons there, and Echo's pressure because he did not put too many gets. And wow, what a crazy conversion, but doesn't get the full combo. It looked like that demon was going to be for naught, and every string and everything that Thunder God does puts you back in the corner because Daddy just wants to mix you all day.
Oh, and no punish on the up-close lightning ball there. Kradwell just kind of frantically trying to get something started, and he's getting a lot of lifts. And he seems to be let going block a little bit too soon before it's his turn. Echo making sure it's his turn all day long with all of these staggers, all of the chip damage. And now he really has no need to go after Kradwell. He's going to let Kradwell just kind of hang himself here.
Definitely just sitting back and letting him whiff in front of him, punishing with that back one. And Echo is playing fantastic right now. And now coming off all the meter, he doesn't have to respect anything. And putting that plus orb in front of him just says, don't come near me. And then he's going to come to you. Try to get the plus frames on the big boot, doesn't get it, and a savage run-up throw from Kradwell, putting him back in the corner, but he has two Vicinity Blasts on deck, and I mean, there's not much you can do to escape that when you have your back to the corner and staring at two Vicinity Blasts. There's just no way out of it.
And you know what? Kradwell looked like he was starting to get a little bit more comfortable. Maybe it's just a little bit of nerves going into, you know, one of the first matches of the night. The first round was a complete scatter, but towards the end of the second round, it seemed like he was a little bit more conservative with throwing out his moves. Took his time to really wait for the right opportunity to really kind of establish some sort of pressure. Got the reverse grab to put him in the corner, but then just didn't read one of those Vicinity Blasts. Echo, being a tournament veteran, going to multiple offline events, including all the Kombat Cups that he's not only casted, but been a part of, he knows he was in the life lead to the point where he could stay composed. Going into game number 2 here, starting off with the EX overhead, getting that first hit, making sure Echo has as the smallest amount of meter that he could possibly have. We know that Thunder God is no stranger to meter.
Oh, and actually breaks the demon. That's so many hits of the lightning. They say lightning never strikes the same place twice, but it hit him about 40 times in 1 second there.
That was a solid 40 to 50 times. And then I love what how Echo uses that EX lightning ball to keep the plus frames and try to keep Kradwell in the corner. But now he's going to go for the zoning game. There's no reason to go after him right now. But Kradwell tried to jump over the second part of that Thunder God string. It was the right idea, just the wrong timing. You see now Kradwell, he's consistently going for these low demons. You might want to try and go for the overhead every once in a while. It might throw Echo off of his timing. But now the reverse grab, don't count Kradwell out just yet. Another low demon. And another low demon, every single one of them getting blocked.
Oh, and catches him with the raw up demon, and hello.
No way.
What a comeback from Kradwell.
Unfortunate for Echo. Didn't have the life to really trade with that low demon there. Kradwell narrowly closing that out. This is not where you want to be. Echo, no doubt, is very happy with his positioning right now. Gonna get the little bit of damage, keep that restand going, and letting the back two rip, forcing Kradwell to break.
And Raiden gets so much damage off of that back two. And wow, what a savage check from Kradwell. This man just wants to send a message to Echo. He says, I'm a savage, and there's nothing you can do to stop me. But gets the full conversion off of the Vicinity Blast. Very smart stuff. Turning into an armored launcher and barely staying outside of that orb range where any touch would have led to a full combo, but Echo clutching it out.
And I tell you, Kradwell is doing so well getting his pressure started, but he's almost always going for the low demon option. And Echo's really just kind of waiting for it. Because it looks like Echo would much rather take the hits off of the overhead than deal with the full combo off the EX low demon.
Precisely, and the overhead is actually, I believe, only what, plus 2, or it's not very plus on hit. So there's something you need to check or backdash if you're not in the corner. So you have options against the overhead if you opt to just eat the low.
Oh, and try to get that.
Oh!
The teams together, and then we get to see it. I love it.
Wow, that came out of nowhere like an RKO, because just the tip of the lightning caught Kradwell not pressing a button there, or even pressing a button there at the end, and sending him into a million pieces as Echo goes up 2-0 here.
I mean, you're taking a look at what Kradwell's doing on offense. It seems to be going pretty well outside of what we talked about by not using that overhead option, but his defense just seems to be another story. It's almost like he's not okay with not being able to get pressure. He seems to get very antsy to get something started, and he's letting go of block, and Echo's just getting these conversions and pushing him all the way towards the corner, and the rest is history. And being able to get the brutal is just that's kind of like the icing on the cake.
Exactly, yeah. Icing on the cake right there. And I got a big update off stream real quick, guys. Both Monster Bros have been DQ'd, so that is another shakeup in the points that, you know, they're not going to get points this week, and all these guys are just going to do nothing but gain them.
That's a huge, almost, you might want to call it a breath of relief for some of these other players that are neck and neck with points. So here we go. Kradwell's still going for that low hit. Almost whenever he's going for the overhead, it usually ends up working. So I'm hoping he ends up picking up on that. But meanwhile, Echo has done a very good job containing Kradwell and forcing him to use all of his meter as more of an offensive tool rather than use that EX overhead that Possessed Kenshi has.
Letting go just a second to oh, and catching Echo on wake up and gets the reversal back into the corner. That was actually incredibly smart from Kradwell. Got Echo waking up, not blocking, into a launch and got the reverse back into the corner. Smart stuff, but Echo has so much meter now. If he gets into the corner, which he does here, if he opens them up, we're going to see some EX.
Going for the big boot on deck. Has it whiffed. That's a tough break, because even though he still has him in the corner, but the back two, no punish on the back two. Definitely a sigh of relief on Echo's side, because that is otherwise death on block. Oh, and gets it, but no follow up there either. Kradwell's just having a lot of trouble right now.
And the read.
That's dogged on.
Reading that Kradwell was trying to get out of the corner. He's just going to apply some pressure, and he's got 3 orbs. If he wants to use them, but he's going to try to hold on to this going into a potential third round here. Comes off 1 bar for the Vicinity Blast, but still has a breaker. Smart stuff from Echo. Still holds on to the breaker going to the round number 3. Or potential added pressure with those EX orbs.
And you know what? Kradwell is really just missing a few key things here. He's doing pretty well from full screen, but he just gets too antsy. You see now, he's getting stuck because he's not respecting Raiden forward 1. And that's a huge tool if you're Raiden. And there's the Echo setup right there, the EX Lightning Ball, keeping the plus frames and getting the conversion on hit.
Ooh.
Kradwell narrowly switching positions here. And that's another thing we haven't seen. Kradwell hasn't really gone for too much teleporting pressure. We see other Possessed Kenshis like Tweedy making the most absolute use of it, and really just, whether they're blocking it or not, getting the meter build that he needs. But this is probably going to do it. And Kradwell just not holding block. And another brutality, spinning out of control.